What is up, guys, and good morning. Today is Saturday, July 27th, 6:44 a.m., Mint Hill, North Carolina, and we are comparing two of my favorite Max Cushion shoes this beautiful fine morning. In one corner, we have the New Balance More V5, a rockered, rolling, soft cruiser with a thick stack of fresh foam. On the other side here, we have the Saucony Hurricane 24, the newest entrant into the Max Cushion segment, using two types of foam. You got the soft and smooth Power Run PB on the top, the firmer Power Run on the bottom. This is going to be a titanic matchup for the ages. So get your gels ready, strap up, buckle in, let's get into it. This video is brought to you by hobbyjogger.com. Alright guys, so we got the More V5, we got the Hurricane 24. I'm not going to do the 21 Savage / Guy Raz voice the whole time, but I do want to do a quick overview of both of these shoes, and it's early in the morning. I'm trying not to wake anybody up, and I just woke up. I didn't have my coffee yet, so we're gonna keep it chill. So Hurricane 24, I was super excited about this one when it came into my office a few days ago. It has that Power Run PB. I was really not anticipating it to be as good as it was, because the Triumph 22, the oomph, I feel like I can't say oomph when I'm doing this chill flow, but the oomph also had this Power Run PB, but it felt a lot firmer. In this shoe, the midsole, something about it felt buttery smooth. It really came alive. I ran in 12 miles in the rain, nice relaxed miles. It came alive. It was awesome. It was comfortable. It had some good pep. And then because you have such a wide base, it gives you a lot of stability. So this shoe represents where a lot of the market is going. Even shoes like the Asics Nova Blast 4 back there, which in previous generations were bouncy, unstable beasts. In this generation, they've thicked it out. Can you say that? And then Cloud Monster Hyper, I'm just pointing at random shoes that are in the background, but Cloud Monster Hyper, that also uses a firmer cradle of foam to stabilize the race foam. So this is a trend we see a lot of brands take. Saucony has the firmer foam on the bottom here. It's just an oval around. You can see all this red is the firmer foam that cradles the white race foam that's getting pushed through here. And the base is super wide. So this is one of the most comfortable shoes that I've felt for step in. Very stable for walking, stable for running, with a nice smooth pep. Now, New Balance More V5, this is one that came into the office a few weeks ago. Also a super comfortable shoe, also has a tall stack of foam, but in this guy you're getting one piece of fresh foam. So I've actually heard some people say the shoe is too soft, and I don't blame them. If you don't like super soft, this is not going to be for you. So it does have a very soft ride. It compresses a ton, but because of that, I've actually felt that it's okay for faster running, because it compresses a ton, but it also releases. It's not like the 1080, which I felt compressed a lot but didn't respond back and didn't give me that pop back out. This, whether it's because of the rocker or the foam itself is a little bit bouncier, it does give me that squish and bounce off. So both of these are heavy shoes, coming in near 340 grams in my size, which is close to 11 ounces. Two of the heaviest shoes we have on the market today, and that's going to be because of, you can't have a lightweight with how chunky and thick these bases are. But both of them so far have been okay for picking up the pace here and there. Now, I'll get some more miles in the Saucony Hurricane 24 this morning, but overall, two very similar shoes. Let's get these both on foot, because I want to do a fit and feel comparison, and then we can take the Hurricane out for some miles. Actually, the last thing I want to say is, let's take a look at the rubber coverage. Again, everything about these shoes is very similar. So the More V5 has a nice thick layer of rubber on the bottom here, and look how it has these three, it's almost like a bird talon here with the cup on the back. You got the C and then the cup, and then look at the Hurricane 24, very similar. You don't get the cup all the way on the back. You have a little bit of exposed foam, but you have that same talon situation going on up here. So both of these shoes should be decently durable. I only have 12 miles on the Hurricane so far, and 30 something on the More V5, so we're not going to be able to really see how durability is, but rubber coverage on this guy is good. Also, wet weather grip is really good on the New Balance. That's something I should mention. So if that is a concern for you, and you like soft, I would go for the New Balance. These New Balance shoes this year have performed a lot better than the last generation. The rubber is grippy. It doesn't do too poorly with the slick pavement. And I can't say the same thing about the Hurricane, actually. This is one of the worst wet weather performance shoes that I've tried. But with that, guys, let's get you both on foot and do a little bit of a comfort breakdown in the office. What do you think? Should we do it? A little fit and feel. Boom. Alright guys, lacing up the More V5 and the Saucony Hurricane 24. So I have these both in my normal size, 10.5 US men's, and man, two shoes where the step-in feel is just so nice. So I put on the More V5 first on my left foot here, and as soon as I step into it, my heel just gently sinks down into the foam. So that's how you can tell a shoe is soft. If your foot sinks down into it, when you put it on, it's going to have a soft ride for sure. Now, lacing up the Hurricane here. Let's see. A little bit more padding overall on this guy. A little bit more padding on the tongue. A little bit more padding around the back. Ooh, slipping in here. So with this guy, my foot doesn't sink down as deep into it, and it feels like it's still wet from 2 days ago. But there's more padding on the upper, and it feels like the insole is a little bit softer on this guy. So, man, these are two very comfortable shoes. I think the More V5 takes the nod for soft midsole foam, and then the Hurricane has the more comfortable upper. But in terms of the fit, let's see. Yeah, both of these fit true to size. I would not go up half a size. I have had some people saying that the More V5 fits a little narrow and they're not getting along with how this foam wraps and they're getting blisters. So you might want to get the wide fit version if that's an issue for you. It is not an issue for me, but if it's an issue for you, get the wide fit version. Potentially go up half a size, but I gotta say, it's not, the length is probably gonna be too long if you go up half a size. Yeah, fit on this Hurricane is just completely dialed in. This is a really nice upper. Both of these shoes are around the same price, $160 for the Hurricane, $155 for the More V5, but that price on the More is really about the ridiculous amount of foam you're getting. The package is actually coming together a little bit nicer on the Hurricane. The upper feels a little bit nicer. The step-in is a little bit nicer. The foam isn't as squishy, but overall, I think I might have to fit and feel. I might have to go to the Hurricane here. It just feels so good when I put it on. And then if you do need any sort of stability, the back cradle of the Hurricane is very stable. So let's do a little walk test here. You know, I'm going to walk myself right outside because it's almost time to go for a run. Let's take my other Hurricane. All right, man, look at this. Another beautiful morning. A little humid maybe, but absolutely beautiful. So a little walk test between More V5 and Hurricane 24. Let's do it. Man, the More V5 just compresses down a lot. It's like a recovery shoe. It is so soft. If you want soft and you want the softest shoe on the market or one of the softest shoes on the market, you got to go 1080 More V5 Balos. New Balance has that absolutely locked down. And the More V5 now might be the best of that crop. 1080 Balos and More V5, just given the price, $155, and you're getting a lot of the similar qualities that you get out of the Balos for $45 less. Yes, it's heavier, but most people aren't going to be trying to put down 5K pace in the Balos. So if you like soft, man, the More V5 is great. But the Hurricane, there's something special about this shoe. It reminds me a lot of, man, the Nimbus and the Shift. Two of my first favorite Max Cushion shoes combined. So it has that softness of the Nimbus, and it's not sinking down all the way like the More V5. It's a lot more supportive, and the heel is more supportive, but then it has that structured roll and more of that speed capability of the old Saucony Endorphin Shift 3. So the Hurricane, I think, is going to be a little bit more of the crowd-pleasing one, where if you like soft, if you like firm, if you like in between, you'll get along with the Hurricane. It has a little bit of everyone, especially for walking here. It doesn't feel like I'm sinking in too much, but it still does feel soft and comfortable. It feels a lot softer underfoot than the foam did pressing it in with my hand. And the More V5, not that crowd pleaser. It's going to be, if you want something super soft, complete, banger. So this is gonna be a tight one, but so far we're going, the soft winner is More V5, but more the crowd pleaser is the Hurricane. We gotta get some miles in the Hurricane, nice little 4-mile recovery run, and then we can pop back up and let you know final thoughts on who these are best for. It's interesting because there weren't very many good max cushion shoes to come out in the beginning part of the year. And now there's just been banger after banger in the back half. More V5, Ghost Max 2, Hurricane 24. I've got the Prima coming in soon. So there's a lot of good ones. Have you guys seen that Puma Mag Max? That one looks wild too. Looks like it might be a Hurricane competitor. But yeah, on foot, this Hurricane just feels so good. The upper is great on this, and I'm surprised because I love the More V5, but I think I'm personally leaning toward the Hurricane right now. I want to make sure it's not just because it's the newest thing though, because sometimes we can have that recency bias where whatever newest shoe we try rockets up to the top of the list. But man, the quality of this upper and how it feels is, and just the power on PB, whatever they've done with it, is great. So 4-mile recovery run, just nice little time on feet, get the blood flowing before the long run tomorrow. Then we can come back, do the final breakdown on Hurricane 24 versus More V5. Let's do it. So yeah, first 2 steps here in the Hurricane 24 confirms my analysis. This is definitely not as soft as the More V5, but it's really stable and a comfortable ride. But if you want soft, that's going to be the More V5. This one has a little bit more structure and a robust feel to it. All right, mile 1, we're entering the dog days of summer, and we still got some beautiful flowers out here. Look at this. You see that pink number blooming up there too? So the Hurricane 24 here, what I'm realizing and noticing so far is that the more weight I put down into it, the faster I go, the better it feels. So if you're a light on your feet runner looking for a soft recovery shoe, this is probably gonna feel a little bit too firm for you. But if you're a bigger runner looking for a nice daily trainer, a good protective option for locking a lot of miles, I think this might be nice. And for me, at my size, it is a bit heavy, but very protective, nice and bouncy, and easy to run in. So I pretty much woke up, rolled straight into this run. No coffee, no breakfast. And my legs right now feel like one of those dreams where you're trying to run fast, but you can't. I don't know if anybody else has those dreams. Just kind of feel like I'm stuck in mud right now. And on tired legs,
Gotta say, the Hurricane do feel heavy this morning. Which is not an experience that I've had in the More V5. But I haven't done this exact run in the More. And they are around the same weight, so it could be that I'd have the same experience. We're halfway through mile 2. I'm gonna cruise the rest of this run, 15 more minutes, and I'll see you at home. Good morning. Man, I was rocking the real deal Bondi ice. One last thing I'll say. I always say this, right? But I've been watching the Clayton Young Counterman series pretty heavily. So I was on Clayton Young's Strava, and somebody asked him, "What's your favorite recovery tool?" And his response was pretty much identical to what I said. He said, "Sleep and food." And so a lot of people ask me how I run 100-mile weeks. It's pretty much those two things: sleep, food, and relaxed running. And it might not be the most exciting. And a lot of you guys, if you watched the Ultra Boost video yesterday, heard me complaining about logging 750 pace miles in the rain. It's not that exciting doing that, but that's what allows me to hit the higher mileage and stay healthy and string together a bunch of 20-mile long runs every week. That base of relaxed running has built up my run specific strength, and then making sure that I'm getting above 7 hours average most weeks and slamming some calories with a good mix of whole foods and fun, convenient foods. That's my philosophy. That's what's worked for me. I think that might be my friend Kelly, but she's really far up there. I can't tell. The reason I bring that up though is one of our friends of the channel here left a comment saying that it seems monotonous to keep running the same routes over and over, doing the same things over and over. Sometimes it can get monotonous, but I find it helps me relax, knowing that I can do the same route, run the same loop. I don't have to worry about directions. I can just zone out and cruise. I got a nice mix of turns, hills, some flat here and there. And with running 100 miles a week and staying healthy, and you can't keep it fresh and exciting all the time. Right? There's that story about Skip Bayless. Absolute clown behavior. But how he takes his lunch from home every morning, same thing. Pretty sure it's grilled chicken, unseasoned, and broccoli. But to be performing at a high level at anything for a sustained period of time, you got to find those things where, man, I'm just going to show up and execute. It might not be the most fun or the most exciting, but that's going to be what supports everything else we build on top. So banging out the same 10-mile loop, I don't mind it. And I'll do that same 10-mile loop twice for my 20-mile long run, and it's that much less mental energy it takes. And the thing is, with how much I switch my shoes for testing, it's so nice to have some other things that are consistent. Most people out there aren't running in a different pair of shoes every day of the week. So maybe you get your variety from someplace else, but I don't mind it. And then time is the other thing. Having these consistent routes, it's really nice because I know, okay, I have my 4, I have my 6, I have my 8, I have my 10. All I need is a 5-minute buffer on the other side to be done on time for a meeting. I'm not worried about getting lost. And working from home, if I need to skip the shower before a call in the morning, I can. Yeah, this all goes under the bucket of the control what you can control that I like to say, right? there's so many variables, not just in marathon training, but in life. If we can have a few things which we know work for us, a pair of shoes, a loop, a recovery meal, a bedtime routine, a method of making coffee, just makes it that much easier to knock out the hard stuff when it comes our way.
All right. 4 miles. Building block for some more consistency. And look at that. That 4, that's going to put us at 81 for the week, which means tomorrow, bang another 20 or 22. That'll put us above 100. Chopping wood. Chopping wood. Average 8:13 pace. Nice smooth recovery run out here in the beautiful Carolina burbs. It's a great day to be a runner, baby. It's a great day to be alive. So this felt a little bit heavier on foot than the first time I ran it. I was also going 20 to 30 seconds per mile slower today. And this shoe, for me, it definitely feels better at the fast end of my recovery range, or the slower to regular range of daily training. So for me, 7:30 to 8 flat is where this guy feels best for me. So true recovery shoe, or even daily trainer. This is giving me a little bit more of daily trainer vibes for me. Just very protective. And even the way it looks almost like the Saucony Endorphin Speed 4. I don't know why that's relevant to it being a daily trainer, but I guess it's the protective version of the Saucony Endorphin Speed 4. So 2 runs in, I really like this guy. Man, it is a nice, solid shoe. I think it's going to be a reliable workhorse, and that's the vibe it's giving me. Unlike the More V5, which we can pop out over here really quick, this thing is really soft, and I think for some people, I've actually had some people tell me it started to bottom out on them if they're bigger. So that's not going to happen in the Hurricane. Let me tell you that right now. That is not going to happen in the Hurricane. No bottoming out whatsoever. So let's get this breakdown in real quick. Am I going to have to walk down there with bare feet? Might be a little bit disgusting. Let's see if I can grab my recovery slide. That's the thing is. All right, we'll figure it out. All right, guys, so we got 4 recovery miles in the Hurricane 24, and similar to our first run in it, it felt soft, it felt smooth, it felt comfortable, it felt very stable, and that is what this shoe is. It is a stable, everyday running shoe, so a stable daily trainer with a lot of protection. You get a ton of stack in the heel, a ton of stack in the forefoot because of that 6mm drop, and it's also very easy to run in because of that 6mm drop. Now, the top layer of foam here, the Power Run PP, for me, it compresses just the right amount at my everyday running pace and slightly slower than that to make it a nice soft ride. But I do think the downside of the shoe compared to the More V5 is that the Hurricane is going to be a little bit harder to turn over, a little bit bulkier, a little bit clunkier for those of you out there who are lighter on your feet and smaller runners. So if that is the case and you don't like the feeling of a built-up shoe, I would go with the More V5. Now, this is almost just as heavy, if not heavier, depending on slight variations in measurement between the More V5 and the Hurricane, but the foam is softer. It's easier to compress. It doesn't feel like as much work to turn it over going slow, and because the rocker here, it feels a little bit more aggressive. Now, the Hurricane does have a rocker, but the More V5s is it's just boom. You're getting a little bit more of that. It feels easier to crank it up in the shoe. I was actually able to hit some 620 paces, and it still felt peppy, it still felt light, and I've never felt like this shoe was too heavy or too bulky. Whereas with this guy here, at times today for this recovery mileage at my size, I'm 6'2", 160 pounds, I felt like it was just a little bit too hard to turn it over. So More V5 is the one I would go for if you're lighter on your feet. You want that super soft feel. There is no better max cushion protective shoe out there
with a soft feel than the More V5. Now, it is right on the verge of bottoming out for some people out there. For me, that wasn't the case. I've taken this up to 12 miles. It performed great. Last 2 miles of that were at faster than marathon pace for me, and it still performed great. So this thing is versatile. It can do any type of run. It can do slow. It can do fast. It is a lot of shoe on foot, but one of the best, if not the best, max cushion options out there. And then Hurricane 24, this is the one I would get if you want the ultimate in protection. If you need stability, either of these two shoes are gonna be okay, but the Hurricane just has a little bit more in the heel feel here. I didn't show this earlier, but take a look at this. It does have a very solid, I cannot push it in, a very solid, one of those plastic heel pieces in the back. Let's take a look at the More V5. It has that too, but it doesn't feel as, it doesn't have that 17 tiny elves pulling my heel down sensation that I tend to get in stability shoes. I do get that in the Hurricane here. So if you need a lot of stability, I would go for the Hurricane, one of the best stability shoes on the market. If you paired this with the 860 V14, which is my favorite stability shoe for just all around and one of my favorite daily trainers of the year, this and the 860, that would be a great rotation for someone who likes stability. 860 isn't the most protective, it's right in the middle. Sorry. 860 is right in the middle when it comes to stack height, so that would be a nice pick for everyday miles, for some faster stuff, and then you could use this for recovery in any of those days where you're feeling beat up. So 2 great shoes here. I think probably still 2 of my, oh, let's see. Boom. Should I make this the thumbnail? 2 of my favorite max cushion shoes of the year. They're both awesome picks. More V5 is probably the one that I'm gonna take if I could only have one out of these, just because I do like that super soft feel. But if you're bigger than I am, again, I'm 6'2", 160. If you're bigger than I am and you're on the tipping point of bottoming out on some shoes, I would go for the Hurricane. You're not gonna be disappointed. This has some pep, this has some oomph to it. I also anticipate neither of these 2 shoes are Kia Soul, let me tell you that. It's like a Telluride and an Escalade, or what would it be, the Telluride and the Palisade. Those are the 2 from Hyundai and Kia. But I lost my train of thought, or should I say car of thought. Oh, durability. I'm gonna get both of these guys up to 100 this year so we can do another update. But so far, just based on how the foam feels, if you're really trying to squeeze as much life as possible out of a shoe, I think the Hurricane is going to hold up better. I took the Triumph, the 22 to 100 miles. That thing had no signs of wear whatsoever. So key downside of this is the rubber isn't the grippiest, but it will last forever. And the Power Run PB, the way that they've tuned this training foam, I don't know if it's different in here than the Triumph because it feels a lot better, but I think this is going to be a very durable shoe. More V5, I think, is going to be average. These super soft foams, it's like a law of physics. They don't feel great for a 20-mile day, and they don't do great past 300, 350 miles. So if you're really trying to squeeze 400, 450 miles out of a shoe, which I'm assuming you're probably not if you're watching this channel and deciding between these shoes, but if you are, I'm going to guess this is not verified by data yet. It's just verified by my personal experience with both of these brands and their shoes. I think the Hurricane 24 is going to take it for durability. So very comfortable. Stability goes to the Hurricane. Soft squish goes to the More V5. For me, versatility goes to the More V5. Speed goes to the More V5. And protection goes to the Hurricane 24. Walking, it's going to be choose whatever flavor you like best. If you like super soft and squishy, that's going to be More V5. If you like a little bit more structure and support and a little bit of a firmer feel, that's going to be the Hurricane 24. And then for long runs, I'm not doing 20 milers in either of these, so don't get your hopes up for that review. I'll probably go long. I don't know. Saucony Endorphin Pro 4 and New Balance. What's the New Balance shoe I would take for long? Probably 860 V14. Please don't use these for 20-mile long runs. If you're gonna go up to 2 hours, these will be okay. Maybe Hurricane would take it just because of this foam might hold up a little bit better. I don't know. Neither of these are gonna be a pick for long runs. That's all I have for you today, guys. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. Ooh, you like that? How you like me now when I've been making over 300,000? I think I've fully progressed into
corny dad joke territory. Who is Ludacris, Dad? You're like so old. You're like so. How many years do I have until that starts happening?